Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. My name is Victoria Pikowska, and I'm the founder of Victory Art. And today we're going to discuss another topic, which is going to be focused all about social impact of art. I would love to say that this is our, I believe, fifth seminar, and I'm really excited that we can move forward with more topics and help you artists educate themselves more, what art can do for you, how you can be successful in art industry. This seminar is not going to be as much focused on business as previous seminars. However, today, I would love to share with you a little bit more about social impact of art, how you can think about art, what value you can bring to society, and how society can kind of benefit out of your art. So today's session is more inspirational than educative, and I would say that this session is a little bit more about giving you really ideas to think about the best ways how you can implement art and how to make people more involved in art. So please get inspiration from the examples I'm going to give you, get inspiration from artists I'm going to mention. And in case you're interested in having consultancies with our team, please message our curator at curator@victoryart.eu, and we will be happy to help you. So let's jump into our session. So, as I mentioned before, we're a Victory Art, and we're helping artists from Central and Eastern Europe to come to the global art world. We're all about breaking stereotypes and building new perceptions. I would love to mention that these seminars are co-funded by the European Union, and really happy that we have this opportunity to work with them in order to help you artists to become even better and to really be successful in the art market. Before we start, I would love to say that please be mindful of other people when they're speaking. Please keep your microphones off until there is questions and answers, Q&A. In case you have any questions, feel free to write it in the chat, and mainly be respectful and have a great time today. At the same time, I would love to say that definitely check website of the European Union. You can go, for example, to European Commission website and check their projects for artists, because they're offering a lot of opportunities in creative industries as well, a lot of innovative solutions or like innovative projects you can participate in. So definitely give it a try. And I believe that you will really find something exciting for you. So I would love to say a little bit about Victory Art. We're visionaries tearing down the boundaries in the art world, because we're working with talented artists from Central and Eastern Europe, and we help them to come to the global art world. We are currently the only company which is working only within this region and is strictly focusing on this kind of artists. We're at the same time builders who are replacing the outdated perceptions about this region, and mainly we're advocates for more opportunities for these talented artists. At the same time, let me a little bit share with you the upcoming schedule for the art seminars. So today we will talk about social benefits of art. Next week, we're going to talk about how you can find your artistic style and learning how to balance your career and like your visions and really find a specific way. The same week, basically next Thursday, we will talk about law in art industry. This is going to be a guest lecture talking literally about like what can happen for you in the art industry. Afterwards, we're going to talk about how to create your brand as an artist. And then we have a lot of upcoming topics where you can join, and the seminars you can join all the way until 22nd of December. And so the 22nd of December is going to be our last seminar. And in case you have more questions or there are some things you need help with, you can always contact Victory Art team at curator@victoryart.eu. So enjoy today's seminar. As I mentioned before, today we're going to talk about the social context and how you as an artist can really become more socially impactful with your art. And so there are a few categories of the social benefits of art. It can be certain perspective or advantage it gives to children. It can be health impact. It can be effects on society. It can be even promotion of equity, or for example, supporting economical angle of society, or even raising awareness about different topics like issues in politics, racism, inequality, maybe disability or sustainability, or some other important things you can think about. Uh, Art always used to be and currently is and always will be an important tool how to really make an impact in the world. And you as an artist, you really have to realize that you have so much power to change how people think, to change what people do, to impact how they behave, and to really shape society. So do not forget about this and really use it in your advantage. Use it as like a unique thing for you, for specifically you. Well, before we start, I would love to mention a little bit more about us. So currently we're on our mission to help and support talented artists from Central and Eastern Europe. And we're focusing on painters, on drawers, on photographers, like different kinds of artists. And we actually take whatever role necessary to support your success. So currently we work with 120 artists from 12 countries. And if you're an artist who needs help or who wants to create something very impactful with your career, definitely feel free to message us at curator@victory.art.eu. We can help you through consultancies. You can join our seminars. You can get more education in this kind of tricky field, and we would just like help you to direct your way through the art industry. So at the same time, we are kind of like our vision is to really have a lot of variety on our platform and a lot of variety of artists. So if you're like one of the artists who really works with niche things, do not hesitate to just reach out to us. We're working as well with affordable artists up to 10,000 euros at this point. And mainly, we are really interested in working even with minorities or working with sustainable artists. So, however, let's directly jump to today's seminar. So, when you think about your childhood, you probably remember that when you were small, you used to have like this art class in your school. I had it, and to be honest, I really did hate it. And the reason why I did hate it was that my teacher was not really person who let me be free, who did let me to create what I wanted, but she was always complaining like, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. And of course, it was her personal style and her personal preference, but I'm not going to do anything about this. However, art in childhood and like working with art, creating art can have a lot of beneficial impact. And this is one of the reasons why it's still nowadays implemented in schools. It can help children to build confidence. It's encouraging empathy and acceptance of different things, different opinions, different views. It can expand the ability to interact with other people or the world around them, to really express themselves in a fully impactful way. It can really help stimulate creativity. It can help with problem solving and actually build the skill to solve problems, and mainly, really, it can help you to find your way how to express yourself or how to communicate. So we all went through this phase in childhood when we were drawing like different things, and probably you remember that your parents still have like this kind of funny images somewhere like on fridge or I don't know, maybe somewhere framed. And to be honest, allowing children to really express themselves through art gives them so much freedom to be themselves and helps them to really create or like shape their personality and traits of a personality. So this is one of the amazing things what art can help people with. And from another perspective, especially when you are older, maybe this is why you started creating art. Maybe this is why you became artist. Maybe art was something you did because you wanted to get rid of stress or anxiety. You want to just express yourselves because maybe you are people pleaser, or you have difficulties to really express yourself, or you don't know how to really communicate. But it has so many benefits, and among them it's as well like being patient, being focused, being consistent. These are really like a personal benefits for children and for adults that art can bring to you. In terms of the health aspect and benefits of art in this way, we see a lot of studies which say that art is a tool which helps especially older people to put up with getting older much easier in much more funny and cool way. So if you think about old people, then maybe you think about these institutions where they spend a lot of time. I went there a few times, like especially this kind of institutions where they take care of them when they're older. And for me, it was quite like negative experience every single time, because usually you're surrounded by people who have different diseases like Alzheimer, dementia, or Parkinson. Those are like the most common. And these people usually like sit in circle of the same uh, aged people with kind of similar diseases and health issues, and these are kind of the things which do not really bring value to those people. Like it does not bring that much positive impact. However, what they did in Netherlands was that they connected elderly house with preschool. So there were like old people who were like 75 plus or like 80 plus who had different issues, like health issues, and like children which were max like 5 years old, so between 3 to 5 years old. And by doing this, they found out that it had amazing positive impact, like connecting these two generations. They became really amazing friends, and they started even painting together. And all these factors, it brought so much positive impact and so much value to this like first short-term project that it actually ended up to be a long-term project. So, but in general, art, especially with older people, it brings more kind of this spark in their life, and at the same time helps with difficult health conditions like dementia, Parkinson, or depression. Well, in terms of another aspect of art, especially with older people, but this is not necessary only for older people, but this can be as well considered in younger generations, is reducing the feeling of loneliness and elevating depression. So by people who are creating art, or like by creating art, is not only to express yourself, but it can really be beneficial in terms of helping with anxiety with other people, become really more open and create some kind of creative interest for yourself in order to help you to really socially develop yourself. In terms of art having impact on the society, this is quite much more complicated topic than like focusing really on a single person or like a group of people. But in terms of art, as a whole thing influencing society, it can separate communities, it can connect communities, it can make communication simpler, and it can make connections stronger. So there's some positive and some negative things, but today I really would love to focus mainly on the positive things like the community cohesion, reducing social exclusion and isolation, making communities feel safer, feel stronger, feeling closer. So probably you already heard about about guerrilla girls, for example, who are very strong advocates, art advocates, or like advocates for equality in the art industry. So guerrilla girls is a group of females who are really focusing on helping other females to become strong community and equal competitors in the art industry. If you're a female, you probably kind of feel this kind of inequality in different kinds of or different aspects of your life. In art industry, when you check how many females are in museums or galleries, like artists, it's specific number. It's like, I don't know, maybe 20%. I don't know current statistics, but when I was checking it a few years back, it was like around 20%. Nowadays, I expect that it's a little bit higher. However, if you compare how many females are painted naked or somehow depicted in like being naked or doing like some awkward things in museums, it's like 90%. Remember the last time you went to museum and you saw painted naked guy? It's quite not common thing. So guerrilla girls are bringing more quality in the art market. And one of the campaigns they did was that whether females have to be naked to get into MoMA. This campaign made a huge impact in the art world and really helped to increase awareness about the fact that literally in MoMA, there's huge inequality and huge difference when you're comparing female artists to male artists, and especially when you compare how many naked females are there and how many naked males are in the museum. And so this is for me personally amazing example how to really make a good social art. Like this kind of thing is so simple, but at the same time so complicated and so like increasing awareness about this complicated topic that is amazing. Another ways how you can promote different social impacts or like different social things and raise awareness about them is for example thinking about another inequality issues like race, gender, age, sexual orientation, disability, or language. When I personally go to galleries or to museums, usually in galleries, but especially in museums, I do not see people of different race. In majority of museums, I always see like white race, especially white males painted doing different things. So this is one very important thing. In terms of gender, I already gave you example of guerrilla girls, and when you compare how many males and females are in MoMA, there's quite a big difference, and it's pretty significant difference. Of course, it still is there. It as well stands the same for people buying art or selling art. So there's still quite huge gender gap, and usually it's as well a gender gap. This was something what I personally felt very concerned, confused, and shocked when I still used to study in art academy. And one day we actually were saying about how the art industry works and when usually females become successful in the art market. And based on the statistics and based on data we were looking at, I cannot exactly recall the source right now because it was like, yeah, it was like 10 years ago at least. We were discussing that majority of females become successful in the art market after the age of 50 when they become desexualized. So this is like a time when they really become treated as equal in the art market and grow value, and people start purchasing them more as a real artist and perceiving them in this way. So when you think about this, there's still quite big age gap in terms of sexual orientation. I visited quite a lot of museums, galleries, exhibitions, different art projects. But in terms of sexual orientation, it was usually like straight people. And the last time I actually visited exhibition of LGBTQ community was this year. And I have to say that I believe this was like the third one or fourth one in my life. And I go quite often to museums and galleries. And I did not see really like topic about this LGBTQ community like being raised as often as it should be, or like giving it like a proper stage as it has in our society. And this exhibition took place in Rotterdam, and it was about a photographer who kind of became like non-gender, and at the same time her slash his girlfriend slash boyfriend who did the same. And this was in 1920s, starting in Paris. So it was quite controversial topic, but at the same time, you know, Paris back in those days was a hub for artists and art lovers, and a lot of things were happening there. But this was for me very, very interesting. And to be honest, I would love to see more of these kind of stories presented in galleries and museums. In terms of disability, this is actually quite niche kind of art industry, which is officially called like outsider art. And Victoria Art is currently working with artists who are doing like outsider art, so artists with disabilities. However, I will talk about it a little bit later. But in general, outsider art used to not be as popular as it is now. It's still like very big niche, but it really deserves a little bit more attention than it currently gets. Outsider art stands for art which is created by disabled people. It can be physically, it can be mentally, but they have to overcome much more like steps or like pressure in their career or like in creating art than normal artists. Another thing what art can help in general with is the economical aspect of countries. We all know that when you go somewhere, you want to check the museum, you want to check some gallery, you want to see the local art or local sculptures, paintings, whatever, what really shaped the way how country developed, what shaped the society. And so art and creating art can become a really drive of a tourist and something what can become really economical assets, not only for the creative industry, but in general for the state. And incorporating art in like strategy for tourism of each country is quite a significant thing. Like you have, let's say, Van Gogh's Museum in Amsterdam, you have Louvre in Paris. There are millions of people coming there each year. You have Schönbrunn, you have Versailles, and those are all interesting places. What really brings tourists to specific place. So if you think about it, art is a huge economical asset. And nowadays there's like some kind of investment in cultural things, what like each country separates for or like makes place for every single year. But let's just, if you really think that, let's just like imagine that countries would double it, how huge impact it would have. So in terms of economical aspects, it's quite a significant thing. And in terms how it can be funded, or like how states and countries are funding it, it can either come from the grants, it can come from different funds, it can come from bigger groups, or it can come even like through different unions, or even it can come from private donors. So if you're an artist who is interested in like really thinking about how to economically help your country, boost your country, really try to look as well for this kind of opportunities. Before, I already mentioned that some countries or even European Union is investing quite significant amount in art industry. So if you're an artist, definitely check out options by European Union. My personally, the most exciting kind or part of the art industry is that art can really raise awareness. Art can be a tool how to advocate, how to kind of like provoke, how to challenge, how to innovate, and how to increase awareness about biggest issues of our time. So, for example, I'm going to give you my personal experience, or kind of like it's experience of my country. So I'm coming from Slovakia, and in 1968, when Slovakia was still part of Czechoslovakia, we started to be overgovernment by Russia. They came one night, and basically they came with a lot of soldiers, with a lot of tanks and trucks, and basically they started occupying the whole country. What happened was that from one day to another, Czechoslovakia became kind of a threat to them, and that's why they came. And people were really shocked. People were really complaining. People were scared, didn't know what to do. And I don't want to go like too much into like history, but one of the things people did was that they really started to create pictures. They started to create documentary photographies, like for example by Josef Koudelka. He's one of the most amazing photographers, part of Magnum, even like Magnum group of photographers. He took pictures, documentary pictures. He sent them to Magnum agency, and that's how the whole world found out what was happening in Czech Republic back then, in Prague. So art can really increase awareness about specific topics. Of course, afterwards, the art started to be censored in Central Europe, especially in Czechoslovakia. And that's why, one of the reasons why art in Central and Eastern Europe is still doing quite badly after so many years being censored, and people being really punished for creating art, increasing awareness. It will take many years to actually put up with this whole impact. Another thing, what art can actually increase awareness is about different diseases. So, for example, we have this kind of amazing example of AIDS memorial created in June 1987, which really memorializes those who died from HIV and AIDS. this thing was really damaging society, damaging in 1980s, and this was supposed to really increase awareness and kind of make people think about protection and how to really be safe in different communities. Another amazing artist, if we're really talking about artists who were really increasing or like using art as a social benefit, was Basquiat, who, even though he died at the age of 27 and he was mentored by Andy Warhol, his legacy lives up to today. He's considered as one of the most expensive American artists. He even did beat in 2017 Andy Warhol, who was his mentor, who was his teacher. He told him majority of the things, and his art was a lot about criticizing and conflict of the social and political climate across the world, but especially in America. Basquiat was really commenting on, especially on racism. So he came from Melanin community in America, and you can really feel the frustration and strength about the topics in his art. The last social impact group I want to talk about is our Mayak Collective. So Mayak Collective is part of Victory Art family since 2018. Mayak is actually a nonprofit organization in Slovakia, and they're working with deafblind artists or deafblind adults. In the beginning, they started with art therapy as a fun thing to help these people to put up with the stress a little bit better. So these people are mentally disabled. They have issues with their eyesight. They have issues hearing, and some of them, majority of cases, is actually combined. So in the beginning, when they started with art, Mayak people really hated art and creation of art and basically everything what was happening with them. In the beginning, they were like breaking brushes, breaking their glasses, like really being angry. But at some point, they really fell in love with art, and they started creating art with their hands. And yes, as you can see, like they're creating something very similar to this. So at this point, Meg has eight people. And in 2019, when we actually did their exhibition in ABN AMRO in Amsterdam, we collaborated as well with the Slovak Embassy, with Penta, and even back then with President of the Senate and Vice President of the Senate. This project, really increasing awareness about disabled people in art industry and outsider art, brought so much value to them because they get so much attention. You know, you usually do not see outsider art just normally in museums, and this it meant the world to these people because they finally felt appreciated. They finally felt that this is really doing something different to them and they really can influence something. So first started as a passion, or more as a therapy, then became passion, and then became a statement for the art industry that all artists should create from the depth of their heart and not really think about what market wants. So this is another amazing impact of the social impact in the art world. So next week, on the 11th of October, so it's next Tuesday, we're going to talk about finding your artistic style and learning how to balance. At the same time, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And at the same time, I would love to say that if you are interested in having a consultancy sessions with Victory Art team or with our partners from GJW Gallery, feel free to contact us at curator@victoryart.eu, and we would love to help you. If you do not have any questions, I would love to say thank you for joining us today. Please keep checking our social media for latest updates. And one more time, I would like to say thank you so much for to European Union for making this thing possible. Have a great evening.